once again. This is Uncle Jimmy with Jimmy's Train Station and Travel Adventures. And today we're at a very special place, a place I've wanted to come and see for a very, very long time. Something that was on my bucket list, and I'm finally going to be able to get that bucket list done. We are in Long Island, New York. And more specific than that, we are in Amityville, Long Island. Now that ought to ring a bell to most of you. We are here to see the most notorious, most famous supposedly haunted house in America, the Amityville Horror. I'll give you a little background. Around 6:30 p.m. on November 13th, 1974, 23-year-old Defeo entered Henry's Bar in Amityville, Long Island. That's where I am right now. Henry's Bar is right behind me and is now a pizza place where Ronnie Defeo ran in that night. I'll show you that in a minute. He declared, "You gotta help me. I think my mother and father are shot." Defeo and a small group of people went to 112 Ocean Avenue, which was located near the bar, and found that Defeo's parents were dead inside the house. One of the group, Defeo's friends, Joe Yeswit, made an emergency call to the Suffolk County Police Department, who searched the house and found that 6 members of the family were dead in their beds. The victims were Ronald Jr.'s parents, Ronald Defeo Sr., 43, and Louise Defeo Breganat, 43, and his 4 siblings, Don, 18, Allison, 13, Marc, 12, and John Matthew, 9. All the victims had been shot with a .35 caliber lever-action Marlin 33 6C rifle around 3 o'clock in the morning of that day. The Defeo parents had been shot twice, while the children all been killed with single shots. Physical evidence suggests that Louise Defeo and her daughter Allison were both at the wake at the time of their deaths. The Defeo family had occupied 112 Ocean Avenue since purchasing it in 1965. The 6 victims were later buried in nearby St. Charles Cemetery in Farmingdale, which I plan on going after I show you the bar that Ronald Defeo went into and the actual Amityville Horror House. Ronald Defeo Jr., also known as Butch, was the eldest son of the family and was a lone survivor member. He is taken to a local police station for his own protection after suggesting to police officers at the scene of the crime that the killings had been carried out by a mob hitman, Louis Froney. However, an interview at the station soon exposed serious inconsistencies in this version of events. The following day, he confessed to carrying out the killings himself. He was out of the state at the time of the killings, this guy he accused. So Defeo told the detectives, "Once I started, I just couldn't stop. It went so fast." And detailed where he discarded critical evidence such as blood-stained clothes, the Marlin rifle, and cartridges before going to work as usual. Now, he worked with his dad at his grandpa's Buick dealership in Brooklyn, New York, which is about an hour commute every day. Now, there's so many stories to this because Ronald Defeo Jr., he changed his story so many times, so we really don't know what to believe. He said the devil made him do it. He tried that in court and it didn't stand. He was found completely sane to be tried. He was tried and committed to prison for all 6 murders, which was way past the life sentence. He eventually died in prison in 2015, just recently. He died. I think it was 2015. It hasn't been that long ago. But anyway, after the Defeos, a year later, the Lutz family moved in. George and Kathy Lutz and their kids. They only stayed for 28 days. They bought the house for a heck of a deal for $80,000. Wonderful price. And in 28 days, they fled, claiming that the house ran them out. It was so haunted. They claimed that Kathy was touched in the hand by unseen force. George was always cold, could never get warm. The family's personalities changed. His wife Kathy's face turned to an old hag-looking woman. Flies in a room. Thousands of flies in the sewing room. They just in the middle of winter that they just couldn't get rid of. Voices throughout the house. Being woke up at 3:15 a.m., the exact time of the murders happened. They also claimed a green ooze coming out of the walls. A pig creature, a cartoon character with like wolf-like teeth and red laser eyes in his daughter's room looking out the window, which she befriended and named Jody. All this was claimed. The boathouse garage door they all seen going up and down by itself. The dog tried to hang itself. Just a number of things. To this day, even the Sun just did a recent documentary and claimed this all to be true. Whether or not it's true or not, we know that the murders happened, but we don't know about the hauntings. Excuse me. So, to this day, we don't really know if the hauntings really actually happened or not. But they did take lie detectors tests and proved they were telling the truth. All the families that's moved in since, and the recent family that lives there now, claims nothing happens, that the place isn't haunted. But there's some truth behind it, some evidence that George Lutz was playing around with the occult and that he calls these evil spirits to manifest. Also, they moved in just a year after the house and were sleeping in the same beds of the murder victims, so that could leave a lot of evil presence, just having the stuff that the Defeos owned. After they fled, like the Son claimed, he was possessed and it followed him for a while. Who knows? But there is some interesting facts about it, and those facts are that the family were all shot at 3:15 a.m. in the morning. Nobody had been moved in the bed, is what they said. They were all face down in the bed. Neighbors are like not even 50 feet apart, the houses, and they heard absolutely nothing except for the dog barking. And then there's a psychic that came in with the Lornes later on to investigate. Now, Lorraine Lorne, famous demonologist, said it was the closest she had ever felt to being in hell. So this other lady, the psychic, also said that she sensed a presence of a Native American chief, because it was believed that the house was built on ancient Indian burial grounds, and the chief had told her that bodies were still there, and all the bodies that were buried there were people that from the tribe that were like crazy or were different, and they were all buried face down, which is ironic that that's how they found the family members. But let's go ahead and pull out of here and head down Ocean Avenue to the house, and I'll show you the house, and then we'll try to go to the grave if we have time, if the cemetery isn't closed, to see the burial plot of the Defeos, the murdered family. So follow me as we continue. Now right there is Parrish's Pizza and Pasta, which at the time was the bar that Ronnie Defeo went into claiming his family had been killed. It's now a pizza parlor. Now we are heading down Ocean Avenue right now. Now they have tried to disguise the house by changing the windows, the evil looking windows, to like square windows, so the house can't be recognized, and even changed the address, I believe, to from 112 to 108 or 110, I'm not sure. But we're heading down Ocean Avenue now to the Amityville Horror House. And they really don't like you stopping in front of the house or gawking. I kind of understand at the same time. Right here is the house that it happened at. And we'll go up and turn around and go past it one more time. There are people living there, but I've always wanted to see it and glad I got to. So we'll go up and turn around. Out of respect, I'm not going to stop in the middle of the road or get out and stand in front of the house, just because it's not very respectful. But at the same time, people should understand that that people are going to stop and look at the house because of its of it being so famous. I mean, people got to realize, hey, you know, people are just interested, like myself, about the story, and it's been a story for a long time, and so yeah, people are going to stop and look. But you can see how close the houses are to it, and no one heard the shots at 3:15 a.m. which is really crazy to me. But I'm pulling up here to stop sign, and as you can see, that's it. It's 108 Ocean Avenue. And that is the Amityville Horror. So I'm glad I could show you that, and follow me as we continue this adventure, and we'll stop at the cemetery and pay our respects to the Defeo family. So follow me. Okay, folks, we are at the cemetery of the Defeos. We're coming up on the grave now of the murder victims of the Amityville Horror. And here we are, folks. The Defeo family says, Saint Joseph, pray for us. We have the graves of Louise, born 1931, died 1974. Father Ronald J. Sr., born 1930, died 1974. As you can see, they were all deaths in 1974 because they all died the same night. You have Dawn, the daughter, 56 to 74. Allison, 61 to 74. Then you have the two sons, Marc, 62 to 74. And John Matthew, the youngest, 65 to 74. So they all are buried right here. And I'm not sure, but I figured they buried them pretty close to each other, if not on top of each other, so they could all be buried in the same plot. But there we have it, folks. And we're in the St. Charles Resurrection Cemetery in Farmingdale, Long Island. I have one more grave to visit in here to do my other video that I'm doing. So that concludes the Amityville horror story. This has been Uncle Jimmy with Jimmy's Train Station and Travel Adventures, and I hope you'd enjoyed this vlog. Please subscribe to my channel. If you're watching this, feel free to leave comments and suggestions of things you'd like to see. Give it a thumbs up. Go out there and have your own adventures. In the meantime, until next time, I would like, before I say goodbye, rest in peace, Defeo family. Till next time, goodbye.